Welcome back to another stream, everybody. Hopefully, this evening we can have some good debates. There's something I kind of have that I'm planning on doing, but I would honestly just prefer some new guests, some people I really haven't interacted with. So I put these new things on screen. I guess wearing a white shirt today was probably not the best move. I don't know. Anyway, we'll start off with this video chat. Whoa, what's up, Josh? How you doing, man? How you doing?
And let me tell you, a friend of mine said, "Boy, that's the deepest."
I'm trying to get some debates going this evening, man. It's always the best debates on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I got this narrative right here. Hopefully this gets some good. Gets them riled up and chat. Also, I've got a new microphone and a better camera coming, so that's gonna be exciting.
Foundation I've ever seen for a ballroom. I said, "Yeah, a lot of things happening there."
But how you doing, Josh? How you doing, my boy?
But we have several friends of mine that were great with us.
Oh man, I love peppers. Peppers are amazing.
With us past and present. We have Secretary of Commerce, former Wilbur Ross is here. Thank you, Wilbur. Thank you, Wilbur. We have former Ambassador Woody Johnson, who's a great guy and you were a great ambassador. We appreciate it, Woody. Great guy and the owner of
I'm doing good. I'm honestly just looking for people to debate. At the same time, I'll be watching this video a bit.
the Jets and current director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, a man who has taken the
I'm just chilling. I ate some peppers last night, though. I like to put my peppers on a pan and I like to grill it. Put it grill, put it on the grill and then grill it a little bit, and then yeah, they're amazing.
Fannie Mae and
Man, this lighting is horrible. I gotta change the lighting for the stream, but
Freddie Mac, but Fannie Mae, it's over $1 trillion in value. When I gave it to him, it was not doing well, and he's turned it around, and it's worth over. We're thinking about taking it public, taking a little chunk out of it. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. It's peanuts compared to the values of, you buy 15 missiles. You take it public, it buys 15 missiles. But Bill Pulte, where are you, Bill? Bill. No, it's true. My first term, I was offered $100 million for that. And I turned it down because the guys that were offering me were very sharp.
Why are you puking on
Two
a
of them are sitting in the
Friday?
room, by the way. They're not happy. But I turned it down because I didn't want to. Did you ever hear of schmuck insurance, right? I didn't want to be a schmuck. I didn't want to have them flip it for $500 million in 2 weeks, which is always a possibility. It's always a little scary, especially in the world of politics. I was with a bank, a very good bank, a very hot banker who's going to the head of one of the biggest banks in the world. And he was also in charge of real estate for the bank. And they had a corner building on 57th. And
There's many ways Trump can get a third term. He can get his son to run for president, and then his son can step down and hand down the presidency to Donald J. Trump. He can change the Constitution. He can run for vice president. There's a lot he can do to get a third term. Now, will he do it? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, you should be able to see all of my freaking face. Either Trump's on top or I'm on top, brother. Really don't know what more you want from me. Let's test it out, though.
Fifth Avenue in New York, and he wanted to sell it, and he made a deal, quick deal, nobody even knew about it. It was quick, and he sold it for $25 million. And the person that bought it flipped it the following week for $97 million. And that was the end of his job. That was the end of his rise to the chairman of the bank. So I don't want to be in that category. But we kept it. I put Bill Pulte in charge, and I think it's worth over $1 trillion now, right? So we kept it, and we didn't sell it, and that's good. That's good. But not only have we lovingly restored they call it the crown jewel of Palm Beach, Mar-a-Lago, but we turned it into what everybody acknowledges. It's the hottest club anywhere in the world. I mean, I hate to say it about my club, but it is truly everybody that's been there. It's the hottest club anywhere in the world. And very importantly, it creates hundreds of jobs and brings thousands of travelers here each year. And then we have all the weddings and all the conventions and the events that we have there are spectacular. And they say it's raised more money as a ballroom. It's raised more money than any other ballroom anywhere in the world for charity.
We need the ballroom just to make the liberals angry. Anything they don't like that improves our country, I'm all for it. Let's bring it. Let's bring it, chat. Happy Friday, though, guys. Get those likes way, way, way up there.
Raise tremendous money for charity. It's every other night you'll see it. They raise it for incredible things. And just as Marjorie Merriweather Post, who, with her husband, E.F. Hutton, that was a power couple. E.F. Hutton, remember? E.F. Hutton talks, everyone listens, right? He was the number one guy. He's like some of the guys in this room was in a long time ago. This was in the early 1920s, roaring 20s, but Marjorie Merriweather Post was married to E.F. Hutton. She was the richest woman in the world, and they wanted to build something incredible, and they envisioned everything, and they bought the lot in South Florida. She bought it because that's where the great reef, if you look at, the maps, you have a great...
All right, now we got 263 people in here. If anyone wants to leave any super chats to get read out loud by the bot to piss off some Democrats, that would be amazing. Let's start off this Friday pissing off some Democrats, guys. Sounds like the thing to do. Sounds like the thing to do. Get those likes way up. Subscribe. If you have a super chat you want read out loud, maybe it makes fun of the liberals. It would be read out loud by my new TTS bot. I think it was hilarious to put that. That's done a lot of trolling. A lot of trolling.
A great stone. It's a source of unbelievably powerful stone. It's a stone jetty, and it ends right there. She bought it there because there wouldn't be any settlement when you built the house on that settlement. It ends right in the backyard, actually, and it's really pretty amazing. She envisioned something really great, and she built Mar-a-Lago along with E.F. Hutton. And at the time, and then you had the Depression, but she wasn't affected by the Depression, and she actually built other sections onto it because she wanted to give people jobs. She did a fantastic job, and she always wanted that to be the...
Spam MAGA in chat. Spam MAGA down below, guys. Let's let them know, guys.
Southern White House. And in fact, when she died, she left it to the White House Historical Society, and the late, great Jimmy Carter decided that Mar-a-Lago was too expensive for the United States, so fortunately for me, he gave it back to the Historical Society, and I bought it. And we spent a lot of money and made it great. I lived there for a while. Then I said, this is a very big house to live in. And, we had kids, and you have the kids running around the house. You can't find your kids ever. Where are they? Where are they? Which floor are they on? But it's a special place, and it's become a great club. And we've had all the foreign leaders, most of them. We had President Xi of China here a few years ago, and I'm going to be there in 2 weeks, by the way. That'll be interesting. But it'll be something because, he's amazing. He's an amazing guy. And the trip is going to be a very important trip that I'm making. And we had the late Prime Minister Abe of Japan. He was a fantastic man. He was a great friend of mine. He was assassinated in Japan with probably the only gun in Japan. They don't have guns in Japan at all. This crazy person made a gun and assassinated my friend. He was great. And we've had a lot of the other top leaders of the world at Mar-a-Lago. So good for Palm Beach. It's interesting. They have a lot of Secret Service, as you can imagine. Probably gets even more, but we have a lot. And I have friends that are very rich, very powerful, and they don't complain. They sort of love it because the president is in your community, not me. It's the president the president of the United States is in your community, and they're so proud of it. I mean, people that are in this room that are very, very substantial, as big as it gets on Wall Street, and they have houses that are beautiful, and they have to go around. They have to go to one bridge or another bridge. They get thrown around like piñatas by the Secret Service. Get the hell out of here. These are people that never get spoken to. You know, the Secret Service, these guys, they don't have a lot of expression. They do a very good job. And the head of one of the biggest banks, the biggest bank, comes in, "Sir, move out."
Trump is better than he's ever been. This is the best presidency in history. This puts Trump 1 to shame. Trump 2 is way better than Trump 1.
What? Move out right now. Come on, let's go. He said, nobody's ever
Way
spoken
more
to me.
liberal tiers. Just the fact that there's way more liberal tiers. I've been all over Europe and I've worn this hat. Have you ever been to Europe before?
And yet they don't mind. It's crazy. They don't mind. They're honored to have the president, you know, whether it's me or anybody, they're honored to have the president in their community. So it's great. And
What's up,
it also
American
gives you a lot of
Russian?
additional security. You get a lot of freak security. Mayor, I have to tell you, you probably have the safest community in the history of the world, if you want to know the truth. Nobody's coming into Palm Beach to do any robberies, okay? In addition to a really great police group that you have, they work very closely, and the firemen and policemen, and we have the ball over, the policemen and firemen's ball, and I think it's become the hottest ball over with John Scarpa and all the people, Tim, all of the people that do it. I think it's the hottest ball, but it's an honor to work with the police. I also based my campaign here on election night in 2024. We had a great victory party just across the street in the convention center, and that was quite an evening. We were waiting for the decision, and it came early. It was around 9:02, and they said, Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States of America. It was very cool, actually, I thought.
I'm
And
about
it was
to
right
post the
across the
Discord
street.
link.
It was right across the street, and then we had some crowd. Joe, you could use a little bit larger convention center, whatever you could do. Get that thing. I know you are. If you're working on it, it gets done. And so it was from Mar-a-Lago. We were there, and then we came over here. We had a tremendous crowd, and we celebrated a tremendous thing. And our country now is just amazing. And we were laughed at and mocked. For 4 years, we were mocked. We were laughed at as being a stupid country. And now we're thought of with great respect, like we haven't been thought of for many, many decades. I want to thank the entire Palm Beach community for the extraordinary support that you've shown me and my family over the years, and I especially want to express my profound gratitude to the recent renamings. I want to just tell you that we have a lot of things in store. I know that a lot of tremendous elements are going to be added to the airport, making it bigger and better, and it's really going to be, I don't think there'll be anything as good as your airport will be anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. So that's the way I feel, and that's very important. In Washington, they say, "Sir, which airport would you like most to fix up?" I said, "How about Palm Beach?" You know? So you'll be all very...
I'm not sad at all, guys. I'm full of energy. I'm drinking a coffee currently. But I will say my sleep schedule, I need to work on it a little bit better. Need to go to sleep maybe 2 or 3 hours sooner. But other than that, I'm feeling great.
very happy. And, you know, it's right now I own Doral, and right now we have a tournament. I'm so busy. And we have the big Cadillac Championship going on, all the great players, the PGA Tour. And they're there. And yesterday somebody came up, said, "Sir, the tournament is great." I said, "What tournament are you talking about?" "I'm so busy with the Iranians calling, trying to make a good deal, and we're not going to let that happen. But they've got to make a bad deal. But if they make a deal at all, because frankly, maybe we're better off not making a deal at all. Do you want to know the truth? Because we can't let this thing go on. It's been going on too long. but under the leadership of Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a person from Florida, right? We're working hard to bring the 2035 World Expo to Miami, to Florida, and we'll support the jobs. It'll be bringing hundreds of millions of dollars, and it looks like we've got a real good shot. You know, I brought the Olympics here in my first term.
If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If anyone out there wants to troll on the liberals or just drop something funny, every single super chat gets read out loud by the TTS bot. There's no genocide in Gaza. Socialism sucks. It's for the lazy losers. Join the Discord. Link in the bio. Link down below. Let's debate.
I was the one, I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup, both of them.
Excuse me.
And then the election was rigged. You see that now? How about the Southern Law, Poverty, whatever the hell they call it, where they supported the Ku Klux Klan and all sorts of other things, only to fight the Ku Klux Klan politically. They out there.
The Democrats love the Ku Klux Klan. They love them. They literally funded the Ku Klux. Democrat Ku Klux.
We are fighting the Ku Klux Klan. They're the ones that are supporting it, giving it hundreds of, and many others, some even worse if that's possible. And now we found out, we got a whole lot of stuff coming. But I got the Olympics and I got the World Cup, and they're coming in now. And, you know, it's interesting how things work out because I missed my second term the traditional way, right? It was very sad. I had to make a decision what to do. And I said, you know, when I got the Olympics, I said, boy, it's really sad because I got it. Nobody else, I got it. And I was dealing with those guys politically, and they said, sir, we're going to choose the United States of America. I said, wow, that's great. It was the Olympics. Then the World Cup. Johnny Infantino, who's the head of it, he's a friend of mine. I said, Johnny, you got to give us the World Cup.
Plenty of proof of the Democrats supporting the KKK. Now, I'm going to flip this on Democrats. They are the most racist people. The racist party. They support the Ku Klux Klan. They hate white people. I mean, they're all around kind of racist.
And he gave it to us. The problem was it wasn't in the next 4 years. It was in 6 years and 7 years, so I wouldn't be president. I said, you know, I got the Olympics,
What's up,
I got
Kindred?
the World Cup, and I won't be president. And then all of a sudden I realized I am going to be president during the Olympics and the World Cup. It's amazing. And, you know, it's very interesting, though. I tried taking the third because we also have the 250th year. This is a great term when you think about it, with all the things we've done. And on top of that, and then we did the great big beautiful bill with no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, all sorts of things. It's turning out to be very popular. People are now understanding it. But,
Trump has no history with David Duke. Trump has never met David Duke. He's never talked to David Duke. Completely fake news. But Joe Biden's mentor, Robert Byrd, was the head of the Ku Klux Klan. Hillary Clinton and Robert Byrd's mentor was the head of the Ku Klux Klan. Joe Biden literally said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. That is racist. A lot of black men out there lost their melanin that day.
When I got these, I said, 250 years, okay, I got the Olympics, I got the World Cup. Maybe I can also claim the 250-year thing.
Barack Obama is mulatto.
I said, I also got 250 years. And they said, sir, you didn't get 200 with 250. Okay, well, I gave up. So I gave up.
I don't care who a racist supported. The KKK actively supports the Democrat Party. Now, there might be a person or two in the KKK that likes Trump more than the Democrats, but Trump's mentor was not the leader of the KKK like he was for the Democrat Party.
An unbelievable celebration. And in fact, on June 14th, not so far away, the UFC is going to have, I think it's the most exciting. I've been involved in a lot of events. I've given it a lot of tickets. I've sold a lot of tickets to things. I don't think I've ever had anything this.
When are we going to debate, Lena Kastner? When are we going to debate? Stop running. Stop running.
This is going to be wild. We have a 5,000 seat arena being built right opposite the front door of the White House for the 250th. And that's going to be June 14th, which is my birthday, which is absolutely, yeah, Flag Day. Flag Day. But and that's a coincidence. It is not, I didn't do that. It just worked out that way. It is actually true, I swear.
No, he did do it on purpose. He went back in time and made sure he was born on Flag Day because he knew he was going to become the most patriotic president in American history. That's why.
I did not do it. It worked out that way. But it's June 14th. At least it's easy to remember. And they're building, it's going to be a Sunday night, and it's going to be on CBS. And then they're having, that'll be a 5,000 seat like arena that's going to be sort of a one that they put up. UFC, Dana White, the great Dana White, he's fantastic. And then they're having anywhere.
What's up, Tom? What's up, Lena? You're too weak to run? Okay, I'm going to get you on call then, and we're going to debate again.
From 75 to 100,000 people in the park. The right across from the White House is a beautiful circular park, ellipse, and that's going to be having thousands and thousands of people, and they have 8 massive screens being built.
Hey, 5 memberships. Let's see who we got. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Here, let me put this off the screen here. Let's let the memberships fly. I'll talk with you guys for a second. W Tom. Let's see. That it even puts each member up on screen. Tina, join the Discord. Oh, Kindred, you got one. Let's see. Who's Yeah, Kindred was the first one that got one. That's great. That's fantastic. We got Garanine, however you say that guy's name, I don't know. W Tom. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like and subscribe right now, guys, right now. There's not too much news going on currently. I'll tune you guys in with some stuff that's going on, but we are expecting some debates here soon, probably. Milani says legal abortion is madness and costing Argentina every day dearly. Yeah, he's a real conservative guy. He wants to get rid of abortion, unlike Democrats. Let's see. China, Indonesia agrees to military ties. Okay, that's good. Turkey issues arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu. You can't arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. He ain't coming to Turkey. He ain't coming to Turkey. Really, no Jewish person should really go to Turkey. I'm not saying, but who knows what's going to happen to you over there if you go. You can't genocide terrorists. You cannot genocide terrorists. Yes, the left is fully fascist and it only comes from the left. Yep. No, you're living on welfare. That's why you can't be part of MAGA. Because the majority of the welfare recipients are Democrats. Let's be honest here. Every single time I see a Democrat having a hard day's work, I'm honestly shocked and surprised. And I think they're just voting against their interests in general. There are kids that are terrorists. Sure there are. There's plenty of children that are terrorists. Especially in Gaza. Plenty of children in Gaza that are terrorists. Holding AK-47s, Mach 11s, everything you love. There's children that are terrorists. Yes. Now, I would say you can't really become a terrorist until you're about 4 or 5 years old. I don't think I've ever seen a 3-year-old terrorist or a 2-year-old terrorist. But once you reach about 4 or 5 years old, you can absolutely be a terrorist. Absolutely. Just like you don't have to have a full adult brain to cut your wee-wee off. Just like these Democrats cut their kids' wieners off at 5 or 6 years old, 7 years old, or give them hormones at 12 or 13 years old. You don't got to be a grown-up to make grown-up decisions, apparently, even though I think that's disgusting. But just like that, you can be a terrorist and be 5 or 6 years old.
Built, and people are going to be able, there's no charge.
And I'm not saying there's a lot of young kids. I'm not even saying there is any 5 or 6-year-olds that cut off their wieners. But with the California law, I believe it may be possible. Just reading the law the way it is.
Anybody, everything's free. and it's
I
going to be
haven't
some
seen any articles. I think the youngest I've seen was about 8 or 9 years old, but that was just a hyperbole. That was just an example. But you can see children. You can't. You already admitted it happened. You already admitted, Lena. You already admitted that there's children out there that have cut off their wieners. So don't tell us it didn't happen. You've already admitted to seeing two yourself, and there's a lot more
thing
than
really
that came
fantastic.
from.
The biggest problem I have is the 5,000 seater. I have everybody that wants tickets, but it's one of the
The
hottest.
California transgender law for minors. You can do a quick Google search, it'll give you the exact name of the law, but just look up California minor transgender law. It's 100% possible.
Things, and then we have the IndyCar. As you know, they're
I actually have two of these hats.
doing a race. Roger Penske, and he said, I've come to Washington 142 times over the years trying to get an IndyCar race
Obama killed more children than any other president. Don't forget that. We know it was being done at Connecticut Children's Hospital. Yeah, don't forget Connecticut Children's Hospital. So I don't want to hear that bullcrap. Listen, Lena, if you want to call in, you can. You're 100% welcome to call in, even if it's for 30 minutes or 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want. Anytime, any place, anywhere.
in Washington around.
We know it's happening at the Connecticut Children's Hospital. Maybe time can tell us. What was the youngest one we can find at Connecticut Children's Hospital? It's not required from permissions from the court, not in California. All you need is a doctor and a parent's permission. That's all you need. You don't need the court's permission in California. But I'm sure if we look at Connecticut Children's Hospital, we're going to find some young children getting that transgender surgery,
Around
transmission
the Capitol.
surgery.
He said, and I've never been able to do it. And then I gave it one last chance, and I saw my friend Donald Trump, president, and in a half an hour I had the whole deal done. We made a deal. So they're going to be, it's a little bit like the airport, right?
Yeah, see, we can't even get ages because of the HIPAA law. HIPAA protects these people's identity and their ages, so we're never really going to know. But we do know it is legal for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds to get their wiener removed in some Democrat states. We do know that, but HIPAA law protects people's private identity. That's the only reason you know two minor children that had their wieners removed was because they're celebrity children. They are celebrity children, so they post their information and tell everybody. But the regular child isn't a celebrity, but they are kid diddling out there. This is a form of kid diddling. If you give a minor child hormones or cut their wieners off, you're basically no better than a PDF file. You are no better than a PDF file. If you are feeding your children hormones for transgender identity, puberty blockers, or cutting off any of their genitals, you are no better than a kid diddler. Let's see what Time says. Connecticut's Children's Hospital agreed to completely end pediatric gender affirming care for minors, including puberty blockers, cross sex hormones, and surgeries, following a settlement from the DOJ. There you go. There is more proof right there. They were kid diddling at the Connecticut Child's Hospital. The only reason it got stopped is because of this guy right here, Donald J. Trump.
And in literally, it's going to be great. In half an hour, he got the deal done. He's so happy. Roger's incredible. He's won 20 Indianapolis 500s. I gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I said, it's amazing. These countries, Germany, Japan, they spend billions of dollars on cars trying to win the Indianapolis 500. And, they rarely do it. I don't know if they've ever done it, but they rarely do it. They spend all this money. Roger Penske's won it 20 times. So needless to say, he's...
Listen, if you guys want to debate about Gaza, Israel, Palestine, you're welcome to join the Discord. Here is the Discord link. Well, now I got to copy and paste it again. Give me a second. But we do have the Discord link right here, guys. Clear as day. Debate here, fellas. Debate here. Yeah, you can't even. Time on my side says you can't even beat me, Lena, because I know how to look everything up, and you've been wrong since day one.
He's quite good in the automotive division. I mean, the guy is amazing. He's won 20 Indianapolis 500. It's not even believable. So I gave him the award.
There are plenty of children that are terrorists. There are plenty of children that are terrorists. But at the same time, there has been a few mistakes made. Innocent lives have been lost. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that innocent lives have been lost in Gaza, but there are plenty of terrorist children. That's a horrible talking point. There are plenty of terrorist children.
When he won his
Every single war has casualties.
18th, I said, Roger, I'm going to give you the Presidential Medal of Freedom. What you've done is amazing. And since then, he's won two more. I don't know what it is. It's crazy. But he's a fantastic guy. So we're going to have the Indy, which are the like the racing cars.
Obviously, if you're a part of Hamas, Hezbollah, actual recognized international terrorist organizations, that makes you a terrorist. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years old, 7 years old, or 12 years old. You are a terrorist. But guys, drop some memberships. Let's get some more memberships rolling in. Or if you have any questions, comments, you can drop super chats. They are all read out loud now by our new bot. We lowered the membership cost to $4.99. That way we can get a lot more people some memberships.
Cars, a Formula One type car. And that's going to be something that everybody's looking for. We're providing $42 million of improvements in Florida railway safety. You know that? And $210 million to the state for rural health care.
If you want to debate about Israel, we can, but it's going to be really embarrassing for you, and I don't think these Democrats have the courage to do so. Listen, if you want to debate about Israel or Gaza, join the Discord. Tell me why Zionism is bad. You probably don't even know what it means.
And we delivered more than $2 billion in federal funding for the Army Corps of Engineers to dramatically speed up the restoration of the Florida Everglades and Lake Okeechobee, which is now being done. Right? We're doing that. A lot of it's been done. Got it done in my first term, but we're adding to it Okeechobee and all the things that benefit you. And today we delivered a huge win for our great fishermen and anglers in the state. And we have any fishers? I don't think this is a fishing room. I gave this statement a little while ago in the villages, and the place went crazy. I don't think any fishermen here. Well, that's not bad.
All right, Chris Hansen. I'm also on Instagram. Euro and Travel YouTube on Instagram.
Well, then you like this. That's better than I thought. But all state permits for the 2026 red snapper recreational season, as you know, was brutal with the federal government.
Netanyahu is fantastic.
They let you catch a half a fish. If you caught two fish, they want to put you in jail, give you the electric chair. If you're lucky, you'll go to jail for the rest of your life instead of the chair. It was brutal. And so for years, our great fishermen have been punished in Florida. And
I like this comment right here. Of course, they have no idea what Zionism is if they can't tell you what a woman is. I agree. They don't know what a woman is. How are they going to tell me what socialism is, what Zionism is, what genocide is? How are they going to tell me? They don't even know what a damn woman is. A woman.
Some other states with very short federal fishing seasons, like how about 2 hours? Go fishing. You go fishing for 2 hours, and then you have to pull it in and get the hell out of town, or they'll arrest you. But they gave you record short season, and I'm giving you unlimited seasons and federal seasons despite record fish populations. It's hard not to have a.
At Time on Miss Side 539 donated $2 through Super Chat. Chat should know I'm the GOAT, no one beats Time.
Oh, I loved that. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. And that's right. You guys can't if someone is willing to do the research and you're not willing to do the research, they're going to beat you in a debate every single time. I know for a fact Tom could beat a good 95, 99% of the liberals, if not 100% of the liberals in the debate, because y'all won't even look up simple definitions like genocide. So forget genocide. They won't even look up what socialism is. I think socialism is a little bit easier to understand even than the definitions of genocide. They won't even look that up.
Record fish population when nobody's been allowed to fish, essentially. And the states are begging to get these permits. And what we're doing is we're doing it. And the very incompetent Biden administration tried to shut down the oceans to our fishermen. And that, look, the ocean's a big place. It's a big place. But we love and respect our fishermen and all of those people that love that sport and love it. And so I'm very happy to announce that we just spoke with NOAA. That's your big group that does all of the work on regulation. And we're delivering to you all of the permits that you need for long-term fishing and lots of fishing. And enjoy the red snapper or whatever the hell you catch, because you're allowed to catch it now without going to jail for the rest of your life, okay? And with the support of many people in this room, a lot of them, we had the most successful first year of any administration in history, they say. Even the radical left Democrats are saying that. We took the most dangerous, unsafe, violent, and open border in the world, and anywhere in the world.
I give Trump's first year as presidency a 10 out of 10. I mean, his first year in his second term, 10 out of 10. This year has been a little bit more rocky, I will admit it, but I'll still give it about an 8 or a 9 out of 10 for a presidency. 8 or 9 out of 10. But last year was spotless, 10 out of 10. And I suspect next year will also be spotless, maybe 11 out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10. MAGA is only growing. You guys are only making more and more conservatives with all these dumb comments. Democrats want you to think and hate who they hate. How do we debate? Great question. I'll put the Discord down below in the chat. You can join that Discord right there, or there's also a Discord link in my bio. So that should be able to get you in there so we can debate.
Well, there's no border like this. And created the most secure border in U.S. history with zero.
100 out of 10 for simply attacking Iran, the people who have attacked us for 47 years. Yeah, I'll actually give him some extra points for that. Just because he attacked Iran, instead of an 8 or a 9 out of 10, I'll give him a 50. I'll give him 100 out of a 10. I'll give him 100 out of 10. I'll give him 100 out of 10 for attacking Iran.
Illegal aliens entering our country in the last 11 months. Think of it. We went from 25 million people coming in to zero. And the people that make up that list are the Democrats. Nobody even tries to come in because the border is so tight right now that you just don't even try. It's amazing. And we had an open border that was allowing terrible situation. We were allowing people in jail, people in mental institutions, drug dealers, murderers. 11,000.
Y'all literally said during Trump's first presidency that he had the lowest polls in American history. And then he won 2020 and he won in 2024. So he won 2 more elections after y'all said that he had the lowest polling numbers in history. This is the same similar tactics and what you used back in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2016. Similar tactics. Fake poll numbers, all this stuff.
888 murderers coming into our country. Many of those people murdered more than one person. One murdered 7 people, and they're releasing them into our country. It's terrible. The murder rate in the United States is now the lowest it's been in 125 years. Can you believe that? It's sort of terrible to say in a way, because it's, who wants to talk about murder? But we had a murder epidemic, and it's now the lowest since before my father was born, 125 years, 1900. And that's an amazing thing. And the crime rate in the capital, Washington, D.C., which was a disaster.
Trump's real pollings are around 87%. That's the last time I checked, around 87%. It's been 2 or 3 months. Get that coffee, Kindred. Get that coffee. It's been 2 or 3 months, but yeah, around that.
When I came in, it was one of the more dangerous cities in the country. It's now the lowest, it's considered now one of the safest cities in the country, which it should be. We moved in the National Guard. We took out over 5,000 hardened career criminals. Many of them came in during the open border of Joe Biden, and they made
This war is a extremely popular war. This war is more popular than Afghanistan and Iraq. And people joining our military proves that. It proves that. We have the highest military recruitment rate since Afghanistan and Iraq. And this war is more popular than that war.
it just a horrible place. It was never that safe, believe it or not. It was people were getting killed, but they were losing 3 people a week on average, murdered 3 people, 150 people a year. Kids would come in to see the Washington Monument or the Lincoln Memorial, and they'd go home in a casket. They'd call their parents and say, "I'm sorry, your son's been killed." And we moved some very strong people into the area. And in a period of a month, it was much better. 2 months, it was better yet. And now it's considered a very safe city. Restaurants which were closing all over town. They were even dangerous if you got there.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. He's saying stuff I disagree with. Liar, racist. Grow up, Democrats. Stop being so immature. Learn to take care of yourself and stop begging the government for free shit.
They'd rob the interior of the restaurant. They go and raise your hands, give you money. It was terrible. And it's a very interesting statistic, Mayor. So 90% of the crime is committed by 2% of the people. And that's really good, because that means you can solve the problem. If it was 25% of the people, that's a tough thing. 2% of the people commit 92% actually of the crime. It's incredible. It's great because you get rid of them and you don't have it. We took out over 5,000 hardened career criminals, numerous murderers, and they're gone. They're back in their countries or they're in jails.
That's a great point. If we're using the same poll numbers that Democrats are using, Democrats have an 18 to 19% polling number. 18% polls for the Democrat Party? Y'all are cooked. Y'all are completely cooked. Get those likes up, chat. Get those likes up. What's up, Andrea? Get those likes up, guys.
We've secured the largest reduction in drug prices in American history under my most favored.
Oh, here we go. My Discord is 18 and plus, and everyone knows that is strictly enforced. Now, a certain guy named Scotty, he likes to, talk to minors in Discord. That's another reason why we kicked them out.
Nation agreements, we're delivering your record-setting discounts with price differences of 400, 500, and even 600.
His real name ain't even Scotty, though, so.
100% lower. And what that is most favored nation. We were the highest priced drug nation anywhere. Prescription
What's
drugs.
up, Unc? What's up, Unc? How you doing, Unc? Man, we had a great stream yesterday. No hat, no nothing. Y'all been wanting to see the beautiful hair, so I had to show you all yesterday for the stream. But it's still funny to get the liberals' reactions of the Trump 2028 hat. But if you want to see the beautiful hair, my hair is almost like this guy's hair right here. But if you want to see the beautiful, beautiful hair, you got to go back to that stream yesterday and you can check it out. You can check it out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Anywhere in the world, by far the highest. A drug that would sell for, like the fat drug, my friend became a very famous, he's begging me not to announce his name, but I use him as an example. He's very smart, very fat.
Thank you, Kindred.
And he was in London.
Listen, my hair was freshly done in yesterday's stream. It ain't freshly done now.
And he called it the fat. I said, I get one of those fat shots. And I said, it's not working.
Time is coming for my hair with clippers, guys. I know you don't want to see that. A lot of people liked the hair yesterday. We'll probably do that for tomorrow's stream or maybe later if we have a debate or some kind of thing. A comb over? No, I don't have a comb over.
Become very famous because he's really the one that got me onto this. It was like crazy. He said, in London, I buy it for $87. In New York, it's $1,300. The same exact, and he's very smart, very rich, actually. Highly neurotic. He's a neurotic guy. Highly neurotic. Most neurotic people, they're either really wealthy or they fail badly, you know. You want controlled neuroses. His is not controlled, but he's smart. He checked out the company. He said it's the exact same drug from the exact same
Thank you for that gift, brother. Much love, much love.
factory, made in the same plant. Everything was except the price. One was $87 in London, and one was $1,300 in New York. He said, what's going on? And actually, it had a little bit of an impact. And I went to the drug companies. I went all over. They've been looking at this for years, but there was no way you get the drug companies to do it. I got them to do it. I did a lot of bad things to them, but I got them. But they didn't care because they said there's no way to get the countries to do it. You had to have the country, because in London, a pill that was selling for $10 would sell for $100 in the US. In Berlin, $5 compared to $87, $90, $95. A tremendous, sometimes 10 times, maybe more than that. So they said, you'll never get the countries, sir, but we're with you. They didn't know this was going to happen. I said, I'll get the countries 100%. So I called up, you might have seen this. I mean, I've said it a couple of times. I called up the countries, and I got France. That's Emmanuel Macron. Beautiful accent. I said, Emmanuel, you're going to have to lower your drug prices in the United States because you're making it impossible for us. I mean, your prices are low and our prices are high, and you're going to have to, no, Donald, I will not do that. You see, because the world is bigger than the United States, it's really not as bad for them as it sounds. If they double their price, we can lower our price to them because of the size. It's a world situation. The whole world was ripping us off. We were paying 10 times more, 5 times more, crazy. And so I said, no, Emmanuel.
I like that right there. No free shit. Don't be relying on my tax dollars to fund your Section 8 lifestyle.
You will do it 100%. No, I will not do it. So if he had a pill that sold for $10 and he had to sell it for $20, that's a big increase, right? But I said, it's not fair, Emmanuel, because...
Let's ask y'all, how many of you guys in the chat support Trump cutting food stamps? I support it 1,000%. It was about time y'all got your food stamps cut. Go work a job, bums. Go start a business, do something. But it was only about time.
We're not fair. You will do it, Emmanuel. You will do it. He said, no, I won't. I said, here's what I'm going to do, Emmanuel. If you don't do it, I'm going to put a 200% tariff on your wines and champagnes that you sell into the United States, and it's effective on Monday morning. Donald, like I said, I will do it. I'd be glad to. So I did that with all the countries, and every country agreed. I'll tell you who can't believe it, the drug companies.
No, I'm not hateful. You just want to live off my taxpayer dollars. You want to live off my taxes. That's disgusting. I'm tired of these welfare babies. I mean, there's a certain welfare baby in my Discord, but I unfortunately got to put up with her. But she is constantly freaking talking about she don't got enough time to go to church. She don't got enough time to go get a full-time job. All she does is drink liquor and get high. Of course she has enough time. She's just born to lose. She's a born welfare baby. If we could just rip that welfare right away from her so she could actually live on the streets or something, and so that, they could take her child away and she could live on the streets, maybe she would be motivated to get her life together. But she has it on easy mode. Easy mode. Section 8 housing, food stamps, all the liquor and all the drugs she could want to do. It's disgusting. It's despicable. No mother should be getting intoxicated with their child in the household with no one else watching it. That's just despicable. That's just a bad mother.
They say, what you did is impossible to do, but I do it. I do a lot of things that are impossible to do. Like becoming
president. That's how a lot of
three
these welfare queens are. That's how a lot of these welfare queens are. And they'll never become Republican or conservative because they just like living off the system. They just love it. They're like, oh, I can drink all this alcohol, smoke all this smoke, and I don't even gotta work. And then this bitch has excuse my language, then this bitch has the nerve. She has the nerve to complain about a part-time job. What a welfare queen. What a welfare queen.
Times. Like winning 3 races. Like winning 3 races. Anyway, so we have the lowest prices anywhere in the world. We went from the highest price. It's a really big thing. And frankly, that should win.
No, she's not a Republican. She's a hardcore Democrat. She's the one that decided to sleep with the black guy. And now she's in the situation she's in as a white woman living off welfare. Not married, none of that stuff, not in any relationships. And she's crying because now she has to work a part-time job because Trump is going to take her food stamps away unless she works a part-time job. And now she's complaining about it. She's like, damn it, Trump is going to take away my welfare benefits unless I work 20 hours a week. I know people that work more than 20 hours in 2 days. They're working 24, 25 hours in 2 damn days. And this welfare queen is going to complain about working 20 hours in 7 days? These people are born to lose. They're despicable and they disgust me. I'm just a middle-class American. If these people disgust me, imagine how the multi-millionaires and the billionaires feel about them. If I'm disgusted by a single mother refusing to improve her life living off the government, just imagine how the ultra-elite feel about it.
That's the midterm, but the press hates to cover it. So, but people now know. So you can get drug prices. We go from the highest priced drugs in the world to the lowest. It's an amazing thing. And we have to go buy it, it's trumprx.gov, and that's been named by Bobby Kennedy and Dr. Oz. They're fantastic. They're doing a great job. I had nothing to do with that one, Joe. I had nothing to do with that one. And I had not much to do with the airport. That was Meg and you and everybody else. I tell you, it's not nice when you.
Statistically, I've read all the statistics. I mean, we can pull them up again. Here, I'll read the statistic again. Let me scroll down. I have it saved in my phone somewhere about the welfare rates. Let me see the welfare rates. Let's see. Household participation. Democrats have about 31% welfare versus 17%, according to Pew Research. There you go. There's the numbers. So yes, Democrats actually have about twice as much welfare as Republicans. Every single article will tell you the same thing. Personal participation. Roughly 22% of Democrats have received food stamps at some point in their life, compared to about 10% of Republicans. Here's another statistic. So yes, every single stat points to the fact that Democrats receive more welfare. It's not a 50-50 thing. Welfare is not a bipartisan issue. It's almost double for Democrats. Now, yes, some Republicans get in bad situations and they need a little bit of welfare here or there. That's fine. If you need it for a month, 2 months, 3 months, okay, get back on your feet after 3 or 4 months. But you don't need a year or 2 years living off welfare.
At Time on Miss Side 539 donated $5 through Super Chat. Justin, you don't seem to bright care to join the Discord and be educated.
Yeah, Justin, join the Discord and be educated. Like, the numbers are there. The numbers are not, you can say this about red states, you can say this about blue states. First off, that's not true. Blue states have better welfare programs. Democrats take more welfare. I showed you the stats. I showed you the evidence. I showed you everything you need to see. What more do I need to show you? Democrats take more welfare than Republicans. I encourage you to go out there and search for any article that says on an individual basis, Republicans take more welfare than Democrats. That does not exist. That does not exist. That's not true, and it does not exist. Almost every single article I've ever read, I've scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and looked. Almost every single article says Democrats take twice as much welfare as Republicans. Almost every single one. Never seen one that says Democrats take less welfare than Republicans. What's up, Ringo? But once again, Justin, you don't seem too bright. Care to join the Discord and be educated?
You call up and say, hey, would you name an airport after me? You know, they approached me with the road first and then the airport, and it's just a great honor. But the TrumpGov.com is setting every record in the book, and they're buying things for a fraction of the price. And today I'm thrilled to announce that starting on July...
Yes, per capita, Democrats take more welfare. Any metric you look at, total population, per capita, any metric you look at.
First, we'll provide Medicare patients with coverage for weight loss drugs like Ozempic, Zepbound, Wegovy. It will be available for, listen to this, $50 a month. And we're cutting, as you know, and as you, I hope, know, we cut the insulin price down to $25 a month, which was, it was in many cases, it was $1,000, and I don't know if it affects the people here, but it was thousands of dollars, and now it's down to $25. We got it down. I did that really in my first term. It was terrible because I did it in the third year of my first term. I got it down to $25, and then they told me, sir, it will take statutorily, it'll take 2 years, one of those deals, it'll take 2 years before it can go to that price. I said, I better win the election. If somebody else wins the election, they're going to take credit for the insulin. And lo and behold, we had some problems with the election, a disgraceful thing. And I saw Biden up there. We have a $25.
No, it's not just food stamps. It's every single government program. Other than maybe, I don't know, something that old people get, Medicaid. Maybe Medicaid, I don't know, but I still have a hard time believing it. Democrats receive more disability, they receive more Medicaid, they receive more everything. You want me to pull up that? You want me to pull up the total welfare rate? We can do that as well.
I said, I did that. Can you believe it? I was seething. I was not a happy person. In fact, I said, I think we're going to have to run to set the record straight. But we got it down to $25. Everyone knows we did it. We actually have been given good credit. It's nice to be given good credit when you do things that are good. And I guess sometimes they'll say they don't give me enough credit, and then I'll be in the Oval Office, this beautiful, most powerful, most incredible office in the world. People walk in and they say, wow.
Here's another one. Poverty and need-based assistance. SNAP, Medicaid, a TANF. I don't even know what that is because I'm not a welfare baby. Unemployment. Democrats are more likely than Republicans to have received low-income or poverty-based government aid. Here you go. Here's your source. Take a look at that. Hold on. Let me move this off screen for a second. I'll put this here. Let me screenshot this, and I will show you. This is according to Pew Research. Pew Research. Democrats are more likely to receive poverty-based assistance. There you go. There's the evidence you need. Right there. Pure research. Poverty and needs-based assistance, SNAP, Medicaid, TANF, and unemployment. Democrats are more likely than Republicans to have received low-income or poverty-based government aid. 47% of Democrats versus 34% of Republicans. Universal entitlements such as Social Security and Medicare is 50-50, 32% Republicans and 32% Democrats. But income-based assistance is 47% of Democrats, 34% of Republicans. There you go. There's all the evidence you need. Source after source. There you go. No lies here. Y'all don't trust it because you don't want it to be true, because you're coping with the fact that your Democrat Party is poor. Why do you think the Democrat Party had to put up their headquarters? They had to put up their headquarters to get a bank loan. The DNC is cooked.
The biggest people in the world, even the Queen the other day, she walked in with King Charles, Camilla, she said, wow, this is the old
If
law.
red states do receive more welfare, it must be Democrats living in red states. I don't know what to tell you.
As I said, when the Queen of England says that, that's very cool. But people do. The biggest business people, the biggest
Also, you
politicians.
could just use common sense. If Democrats are constantly begging for more welfare, if they're saying give more food stamps, give more free housing, universal health care, give me free, 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 then you can also use a thing called common sense. Republicans are trying to take welfare away from the people that refuse to work, and Democrats are trying to give welfare to everybody. And they're trying to give way more and more welfare. So just you can use common sense, you can use data. I mean, there's multiple ways we can make this argument.
And just it's an amazing place, and we keep it well. We fix it. One of the nice parts about being in real estate, I give it the Mar-a-Lago treatment. We fix Mar-a-Lago. We make it better than it's ever been. It's better than it was the day it was built. So we have a lot of fun. By the way, the King and Queen were fantastic. They were here. What great representatives they are for their country. Really high quality. When he got up and made the speech with that beautiful accent, I said, well, that's the one thing I'll never have is that accent. I'd like to have that accent. But
Florida has some of the best college education in the entire country. But if education in blue states are so much better, then why are Democrats so much more on welfare? The funny thing is, a Democrat is 3 times as likely to have a college education, but almost twice as likely to be living on government assistance. Make that make sense. Y'all are cooked.
But no, it was very elegant. He's a very elegant person, very good person. So in 4 years, the last administration took in much less than $1 trillion. And in 11 months, so you got 4 years, less than $1 trillion. And in 11 months, we took in as an investment where countries and people, rich people are investing. In 11 months, we took in over $18 trillion, which is a record, And we passed the largest tax cuts in American history. And you have your...
Oh no, tax cuts. Oh, that's what Democrats say. They cry about tax cuts because they don't make any money. That's why they don't like tax cuts. You don't even have to be wealthy. You could be making $40,000, $50,000, $30,000 a year, and the tax cuts still will help you.
1 year deduction that people never thought would be possible.
You have to work for your food. It's been like that for thousands and thousands of years. You have to get up and work for your food.
At Time on Miss Side 539 donated $5 through Super Chat. Democrats hate red state education because we believe in parents having a bigger role with they want daddy government to have control.
Yeah, Democrats do hate red states education because we believe parents having a bigger role. They want the daddy government to control them. That's exactly what they want. That's why Democrats make fun of homeschooling. They make fun of private schools. They make fun of all this good education out there because they want you to be controlled and taught by the government. But guess what? If your child is homeschooled or your child goes to a private school, the government can't get in their ear. Now, they can get some good Christian values put in their ear.
Possible. Instead of over a 38-year period, you're taking it in 1 year, and nobody believed a thing like that.
Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about that today. What is it called? The ACLU is having a major lawsuit. They are suing schools in Texas for allowing to have the 10 Commandments in the classroom. You don't have to read it. Nobody's forcing you to read it. Now, that lawsuit, in my opinion, is against the freedom of speech and the freedom of religion. Right there. I would sue them.
Possible. I did that actually for a shorter period of time in the...
At
Hey,
Stomp Out
thank
Sobriety
you.
donated $2 through Super Chat.
I appreciate that, brother. Much love, much love.
First administration. I think we had the greatest economy in history in my first administration, and
There are no private schools that I've ever seen in this country that segregate people based on skin color or anything like that.
In the second, I think we're blowing it away, but we had to make a detour. I'm sorry. We had to make a detour to Iran. Everything will snap back. We were down to less than $2 for gasoline in Iowa. I was in Iowa 2 months ago, just before the little skirmish took place, is taking place, and price for gasoline was $1.85 a gallon, and we were a lot of places were $2, some below $2. And I believe it'll snap back very, very quickly as soon. There's so much oil. These ships are loaded up with oil. They can't get out
Yes,
of the.
freedom of religion, meaning you should be able to practice Christianity inside of school.
At Time on Miss Side 539 donated $10 through Super Chat. Separation of church and state has nothing to do with religion in government. It was only that government couldn't force you to follow a specific religion. Learn some. Giagoru Chat.
Learn something, chat. Separation of church and state has nothing to do with religion and government. It was only the government that couldn't force you to follow a specific religion. If you want to be in government and you want to run as a Christian, as a Jew, or you want to teach Christianity or anything like that, I'm not saying in the school system, but I'm saying wherever you want. It should be allowed in the school system. They should have a Christian Bible class. They can have other classes learning about Islam and how dangerous it can be. I mean, they can make all kinds, they should be able to. What about freedom of speech? Freedom of speech and freedom of religion doesn't mean no religion and no freedom of speech in school. That's not what it was made for. I agree with that 100,000%.
Great. I think we're going to have it solved. I think everyone in this room is going to be very happy and very impressed. Our tax cuts supported an estimated 408,000 full-time Florida jobs. You know that. And we delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our seniors, which I think is the last one. I wasn't sure if that was the biggest one, but I can tell you in Florida it's the biggest one. No tax on Social Security for our seniors. We virtually eliminated the estate tax or death tax for people with small business and farms. So many.
Unfortunately, my grandparents are Democrats and they will never admit. If I asked them today, they would never admit they have no tax on Social Security now. They would never admit to it. They would say, oh, I don't know. But they don't.
Farmers where they leave their farm, they're land rich and cash poor. They have a farm that's of value. They leave it to their children, their great children who they love so much. If they don't love their children, I say don't bother. It's nothing much. But if you do, if you want to leave your farm or your small business to your children, we have no estate tax. We have, they call it a death tax. That's what it is. And pretty amazing thing. In the case of farms, it's a way of life. And the parents would be on the farm, the kids would grow there, and they love it.
That's Trump derangement when Democrats can't even admit the good that the Republicans are doing. Listen, I can admit some stuff that Biden did was good. I can admit some stuff that Obama did was good, but it was overwhelmingly not good. Are your grandparents American? Yes. They live in Florida.
At Woman of the Past donated $4.99 through Super Chat. Bless your heart, Euro.
Thank you. Much love to you. Much love. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday, everybody. Much love, chat. Much love. Get those subscribers way up, though, guys. Let's gain another 100 or 200 subscribers today. And if anyone else wants to debate, we can. I really, really do want to debate. Even if we have some small disagreements, even if you're a Trump supporter and maybe you disagree with the first one or you disagree with the second one, I don't know how you would disagree with the second one if you support Donald J. Trump. But if we have some small disagreements, let's have some good debates here, all right?
They wouldn't do anything else. They would rather do that than anything else. And they used to get hit with a tax, a big tax that they couldn't pay, so they go out and borrow money from the local bank or whatever, and they weren't able to pay, and they would lose their farm, and in many cases they would commit suicide. Literally, they'd commit suicide. We don't have any death tax or inheritance tax anymore for the small farms and small businesses. So when you leave your business to your kid,
A death tax is stupid. Isn't Biden the one that left the death tax? So when your parents die or whatever, and if they leave you $1, that's gonna get taxed. I mean, that shit is ridiculous. Other countries have that garbage too.
you don't have that. And we made interest on car loans fully tax deductible, so that if you borrow money, if you buy an American car only, you have to buy an American-made car. But you can borrow money from the bank. Your interest is deductible for income tax purposes. And that's a big deal that we've never seen. You know, middle-income people have never been big on deductions. Rich people have gotten used to deductions, but those other people haven't. We added 186,000 private sector jobs in March. Jobless claims just hit the lowest level since 19.
Coco said, "Oh, I'll debate you. Trump is the best president in my lifetime. What you got, Euro? I can't really debate the facts. I mean, if you say something that's true, I can't debate you. Why do you block super chats? I don't block a single super chat. You just have to reword it differently, like Time said. Some words are blocked, but you can drop any super chat you want. You just gotta change the wording on it. All right, you just gotta change the wording on it. Nothing's blocked whatsoever. Obviously, you can't break YouTube's rules because YouTube has its own rules for super chats, but we have no rules on this channel. We don't block anything. I would let every single one go by.
69, and more Americans are working
What's up,
today, as I
Jeff?
said, than ever before. And since the election, 89 times we've hit new highs, and we're adding $9 trillion. We've added in just 11 months, we've added over $9 trillion in value to the stock markets, and people with 401ks have really, I mean, it saved marriages, actually. One policeman told me my wife thought very little of me. She felt I wasn't a man because I was a bad investor with my 401k. I had nothing I could do about it. It was under the Biden administration. And now she thinks that I'm Warren Buffett. She said, my husband's the most incredible investor I've ever seen, and all I do is just look at the numbers every month. So it's amazing. The 401ks are incredible, incredible. Core inflation has dropped to a 5-year low.
AIPAC receives zero money from Israel. AIPAC is not even in the top 20 biggest lobbying groups. You idiots should be focused on super PACs like Blue Cross Blue Shield and all these other big pharma PACs out there. But instead, you're worried about one of the smaller PACs, which is AIPAC, which doesn't do anything wrong and doesn't receive any money from Israel. And really doesn't even have that much influence over our country.
With the exception
if
of oil
any
prices,
influence
which
at
is
all.
just, I think most of the people in this room understand that as soon as it's over, it's going to drop like a rock. I think it goes below where it was because there's so much oil. It's not like it would be a problem if there wasn't a lot. There's so much oil out there.
This guy says, I emptied my 401k when this idiot won again. Oh, congratulations. You missed out on about a 50 to 60% increase in your 401k. So your 401k, would have gone up 50 to 60%. So I guess you're just an idiot, like a complete moron. You lost out on major profits in your 401k. You probably lost out on thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars because of your stupidity, depending on how much you got in there.
But core inflation has dropped. Grocery prices are down. Used car prices are down. Rent is down. The only thing that is up is the gasoline, and that's coming down. But, with all of this, and I say it again, we had to do this little excursion because if we didn't, if they had a nuclear weapon, this world would be, it would be a horror. It would be a world that would live in fear. And it should have been done for 47 years by other presidents and other countries, frankly, but it wasn't. They were all
Do we
afraid.
need to do another 10 minutes of teaching you about what socialism is? Social programs are not socialism. They are two different things. Even I talked to a Republican yesterday, and I didn't feel like arguing back and forth with him too much. But social programs and socialism are two different things completely. Two different. If they were socialism, they'd be called
At Time on
socialism
Miss Side
programs.
539 donated $5 through Super Chat. There are no morals on the blue side, ma'am. This chat isn't too bright.
This chat is not too bright. There are no morals on the blue side. I mean, y'all screaming about the children in Gaza, the children in Iran. Like that's my Democrat impression. That is my Democrat impression. But then when you mention that y'all killed tens of millions of babies via abortion this year, y'all don't care. You're like, "Oh, abortion ain't murder." Well, neither is self defense and neither is war. If abortion isn't murder, then neither is war. There you go. There's my response to their stupidity.
Of Iran is very strong, was a very strong country. We've blown the hell out of them, if you want to know the truth. But we've leashed American energy with that
They
simple.
murdered 33% of my generation with abortion. Disgusting vermin. Vermin scum. Demon rats.
Policy of drill, baby drill. And I'll tell you, we're producing more oil and gas now than we ever have at any time. And we're investing over 1.5 trillion next year in the military. And we have the strongest, the greatest military by far anywhere in the world, stronger than any other country by far. And thanks to our warriors and their allies, the Israeli Defense Forces today, the Iranian regime has none of those things that we talked about: Navy, Air Force, anti-aircraft capacity, no radar. And again, dozens of their leaders are no longer with us. They're
Apparently, Russia has recently sent Iran some radar. Kind of reminds me of what they did during the Soviet era when they sent Syria radar to find the Mossad spies hiding in Syria. I watched a whole movie about it, but basically, a very, very famous Mossad spy died back in 1968 due to Russia selling Syria some special radar equipment to find transmitters for spies.
elsewhere. Most importantly, though, thanks to our blockade, the blockade has been unbelievable. They're unable to export any energy, and they're crumbling as an economy. But I just want to say that we have now a great country that's respected again. We're a country that is winning like it's never won before, and we're going to keep.
After doping radar doesn't find our stealth epic. I watched a movie that was based on a true story. It was basically a documentary.
It going, and I just
Not
want to thank.
100% a documentary, but it was based on a true story. Eric Cohen. Eric Cohen. He was a famous Mossad spy that died back in 1968 trying to take down the Islamic socialist scum, the Ba'ath Party that was the ruling party in Syria until 2023 when we took down Assad. Well, when the other Islamists took down Assad, basically.
Thank all of the people from this area of the world. It's a great area of the world with great leaders and people, and it's people that I have a lot of respect for. But it's an area of the world that everyone's talking about, and it's an honor to be a member of this group of people, very distinguished, such distinguished people. I'm seeing so many people, the people that you read about, the people that you look up to, and they happen to be here.
A miscarriage is not an abortion, Nimron. I mean, it's simple as that.
At Time on Miss Side 539 donated $5 through Super Chat. We absolutely destroyed Iran class. All you do is lie. Get some facts.
Get some facts, chat. Like, if you really want to debate about abortion and miscarriages, we can. But miscarriages happen for a reason because the body can tell that the baby, if it came out, if they try to create the baby, there's something wrong with the DNA. A lot of the times, miscarriages happen because of the male DNA, because of the sperm is actually fragmented. The DNA is fragmented, so a baby cannot properly develop, which leads the woman's body to do an abortion, or not abortion. Sorry, what the fuck? A miscarriage. A miscarriage is not an abortion. A miscarriage happens because a woman's body could not properly develop because of issues either with the DNA, there's multiple different factors, but basically the baby is not properly developing, which leads to a miscarriage. A abortion happens to a perfectly healthy baby for no damn reason. And it's not a natural process whatsoever. Whatsoever. What can I say? That's just a stupid, stupid comment. We absolutely destroyed Iran, Claus. All you do is lie, get some facts. Yeah.
In front of you with Harvey, my lawyer, the lawyer. If he ever loses a case, I'll fire him so fast. But he's my lawyer, and he said, would you do it?
No,
I
a
said,
miscarriage is
absolutely.
not an abortion. And 50% of pregnancies do not lead to a miscarriage. What are you talking about? None of the information you are sharing is correct. Because the Middle East is filled with terrorists. That's why we're taking them down. Maybe if Islam wasn't so violent, there would be no problem.
And I know it's turned out
Fundamental Islamists are violent and vile and radical.
to be great because outside they have thousands of people trying to get in, so that's a good feeling. But I just want to thank very much all of the people of West Palm Beach and Palm Beach, all of the people that we've dealt with. You are really fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's that. Let's see if we can find anything else that's a bit newer or anything that I missed. Let's see. Oh, JD Vance. I'll check this one out. Oh my God, why Katy Perry? That garbage.
Just like we are in steel, completely dependent on the rest of the world. For the backbone of industrial society is energy and steel. Those are the backbones of industrial society. What happened with our oil production and our natural gas production is we had a renaissance. Today, we're by far the world's largest producer of oil, by far the world's largest producer of natural gas. In fact, we're the largest net.
And that all happened under Donald Trump, by the way. That all happened under Donald Trump. That's right, Jason. I did check that out. This is the newest video, though. I like this speech right here between this guy and JD Vance. This will be fantastic.
Exporter of oil and natural gas on planet Earth. We did it with oil and gas. We can do it with steel also. That's a setup for my partner, my friend, and the Vice President of the United States of America. What transformed
At time on this side, 539 donated $5 through Super Chat. We need a compilation of liberals screaming when drunk was elected.
When drunk was elected? When Trump was elected? No, Trump is not drunk. He does not drink. Just to clarify for the chats, Trump is not a drunk. But we will play that. We will play that. Y'all want to see that? Y'all want to see that? Here, give me a second. I'll pull it up. I'll play like a 30-second clip of it. Let's see. Liberals crying, Trump win. Let's play that for a quick second. And then we'll hop back into here. Oh, I found some funny ones. All right, let's pull it open. I found some good ones already. Hold on. We're pulling it up, chat. We're pulling it up. This is actually hilarious. Liberals crying. I'm going to copy and paste this link into here.
At time on this side, 539 donated $2 through Super Chat. Trump, I'm working on 2 hours sleep.
Trump, you're working on 2 hours sleep.
At WrinkleBrain08 donated $5 through Super Chat. They believe MN can become W. Omen. What do you expect from a Democrat voter?
Oh, yeah. You guys are gonna think this is hilarious though. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. I think this is the video right here. Oh yeah, this is the video. This is the video. Straight up 13 minutes of them screaming. All right, guys. Hold on, chat. We got the video here now. We're gonna copy and paste this link in real quick, real fast. This is the video. This is the video. Straight up 13 minutes of them screaming. They believe a man can become a woman. What do you expect from a Democrat voter? Not very much. Standards are kind of low for them. This video is not available anymore. What do you mean this video is not available anymore? This video is indeed available. Oh wait, that's what I did wrong. I clicked the backspace. Hold on. Enter. There we go. This is funny.
I'm sorry. No.
Mind you, this is all Democrats after Trump won the election. Imagine when we win the midterms. Imagine when we win the midterms, how they're going to react.
Why? Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
Oh, poor Kamala Harris supporters. Poor Harris supporters. Oh.
I will be leaving the country and my dad will be staying blocked after this election. See you never.
You voted against me. You voted against my right to live. You voted against all the women and their rights.
G'day Australia, good morning from Washington. Hey, have you heard the news?
In Alaska, what does that mean? The race to 270, well that is now over. Donald Trump wins the state of Alaska, and as a result, Donald Trump is once again going to be the President of the United States.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th President of the United States.
All right, chat, that's pretty funny. Let's play one more. Let's play one more and then we'll hop back into the video. Let's see. Unhinged leftist tears.
The results are in and Donald...
No! Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
And this woman went through a range of emotions throughout her meltdown.
What is wrong with you? I can't do this anymore. I'm literally sick. I'm literally sick to my stomach.
At Time on Miss Side 539 donated $2 through Super Chat. No Blue Wave Senate is already known to do red.
Senate is pretty much over.
What has happened to America? What has happened to democracy? What has happened to freedom? I'm done. This is a message to anyone who follows me. If you voted for Trump, unfollow me and block me. If you didn't vote, unfollow me and block me. The fact that it's this close means I've...
At Time on Miss Side 539 donated $2 through Super Chat. Screw the video, I wanna pick on the beta left lol.
What does that say? I wanna pick on the beta left.
Lost all
No,
hope
we
in
gotta
the
watch
American
one more because
people.
I really like this one.
Like, it should not be this close. Why would anyone vote for this person? He's so evil. He's so demented. Kamala's not perfect. We all know that. We all know that. She is not a convicted felon, rapist, crazy fascist, dictator, psycho.
This man, dressed in only a rainbow scarf and beanie,
This is the last one I'm gonna play because this is absolutely hilarious.
couldn't quite comprehend the fact that people could vote for Trump.
What the hell? You
cannot be serious. How did I wake up to this garbage as my president? That's right, garbage. I went to bed last night and she was ahead. I woke up to this freaking nightmare. Donald Trump? How? Does America have this many Nazi, Hitler following pieces of trash?
Oh yeah, talk about piece of trash. You're quite a piece of work yourself.
I thought America was already great. Kamala had our economy skyrocketing. People were
What? This man is delusional. Obama was the worst. Biden was the worst freaking president in the last 100 years.
People were happy. You could feel the joy in her campaign. And then all of a sudden, it's just been
This guy reminds me of a YouTuber named Jimmy.
hijacked by these freaks of nature that call themselves Trump supporters.
Freaks of nature? Buddy, look at you! Look in the mirror! Look in the mirror.
Nobody wants to live in a country full of hate. It's all hate, 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 hate.
Hate,
Trump
hate.
hates everybody that's not white. And I can't believe people of color actually voted for him. How does that happen? What, does he pay them? I'll give you some money if you vote against your own people. Who does that?
Nobody? Projection at its finest?
Break, right? Like we're just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything's gonna go back to the way it'll be a psych. It'll be like a really bad dream, and none of this will have ever happened, right? Like it'll be like the first time, and then we're all gonna pull through fine in 4 years. Correct? Please, someone tell me. I can tell you one thing right now, marriage is the farthest thing from on the table currently, so
No one was ever gonna marry you in the first place.
they screwed the pooch on that one if they thought that any of this was gonna actually help with the whole family and kids department and lowering birth rates, because that, not even any semblance of thoughts I had or hope for that is completely gonna be a no thanks for me, love. You think I would ever even dare bring a child into this country now? It was rough.
No, you've aborted all your children, that's why. You've aborted every single last one of them. So no, you don't need to give me the speech at all. Let's see, White House. Okay. Let's go back to what we were watching now.
His story from an American success story
That was pretty
into
funny,
a
though.
hero story is
No,
when he
that was
achieved
pretty funny. It never gets old, really. It never gets old.
success. He didn't coast, he didn't lay back. He doubled down and dug deep, deciding to fight every day relentlessly so that all of you, all of America.
I'm not trying to generate rage at all. I want you to be calm as possible. Liberals are just like hormonal women, though. They can't control themselves.
Could have a better shot at the American dream, could have a fairer shot at the American dream, to move the barriers and the bad decisions out of the way that made life in industrial America so hard these last few decades. We betrayed our children. We betrayed our grandchildren. Vice President Vance and President Trump are committed 7 days a week to reverse that. Illustrated right here by our Department of Energy's partnership with this fantastic company, Cleveland Cliffs, to invest $1 billion to make this the best steel plant on planet Earth.
They stay in their feelings. First Haitians have been sent back. Temporarily, finally.
Now going to welcome to the stage someone who's an
don't
inspiration.
forget the Ethiopians, the Haitians. Now all we need to do is the Somalians next, or whoever else had temporary. Remove all temporary status. It's gone. It's over.
To me, the leader of the reindustrializing the United States of America, working with the senators in Ohio, the governor in Ohio, and the leadership to make our country great again. God bless you. God bless Middletown Works. God bless the fabulous state of Ohio. God bless the United States of America. And God bless our unbelievable Vice President, J.D. Vance.
I'm not a fan.
Candidates, we have
of
some
the music, so I just skip past it.
leaders and future leaders, and I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. But first, I've got to give a shout out to my great friend and the next United States Senator, my replacement as the next United States Senator from the state of Ohio, John Husted. John, please stand up. Thank you. We've also got, I believe, a great gubernatorial candidate, a great governor of Ohio, but also a great next governor of Ohio, my friend Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, please stand up and say hello.
Hey, to each his own, Kindred, to each his own. That was my first time ever hearing that song. The first song they played was Katy Perry, which was already not manageable for me.
So you all may not know, but I have a 6-year-old son, our second child, named Vivek. And when I came back home a couple of weeks ago to vote in the primary elections, my favorite internet meme, Vivek, I don't know if you saw this, but so I brought my 6-year-old little boy with me, and we had a day of travel all over the country, actually. And I hold his hand into the polling booth, and he votes for whether he prefers caramel apples or watermelon or something. They have some kid polling ballot to fill out. And then somebody posts on the internet, JD brought his son Vivek to vote today, and then somebody used AI or something and put me and Vivek.
Saturday night, I went downtown working for the FBI. Are you serious, Kindred? You're working for the FBI now?
Vivek holding hands, walking to the
Or is that
polling
the name
location
of the
together.
song? Or is that some kind of song lyrics?
But I don't think that anybody needed to encourage Vivek to go to the polling location that day. When your name is on the ballot, nobody needs to make you go vote. But Vivek's going to make a great governor for the state of Ohio. I believe we have my friend Jay Edwards, who's going to make a great treasurer for the state of Ohio. Jay. And then we've also got Frank LaRose. Frank, thank you so much. A great leader in the state of Ohio, a great Army veteran. And I got a lot of other people I could shout out, but I don't think any of you are up for election in a few months. So you're going to have to, that's going to be it. Because I'm going to talk about steel. I'm going to talk about America's comeback. I'm going to talk about the fact that this is a great day to be a resident of Middletown, Ohio. This is a great day to be right here in southwestern Ohio. And you all know my story. I look at what you all are wearing, and I remember my papaw going to work in an outfit not all that different, and coming to this very place to work for nearly 40 years as a welder at what was then Armco Steel. And I can't help but think about the last time a James Vance stood in this very place. He had spent nearly 40 years as a welder at Armco Steel, now of course Middletown Works of Cleveland Cliffs. He was not an educated man by any means, but he was a brilliant one. He was a complicated man, a man of faith who never went to church. He was an alcoholic since middle school, but he quit cold turkey as a grandfather. But if he was a complicated man on the inside, he was a man with very simple ambition.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with chat. It's moving really fast, and at the same time, it's not loading properly. I think it's on YouTube's side, because my internet is perfect.
He didn't want to get rich. He had no desire to build a business. That's not who my papaw was. His American dream was well-fed kids, a car engine to tinker with. He loved to build out cars, a lukewarm cup of coffee, never cold, never hot, and of course a donut from either Central Pastry or Milton's Donuts. That was his American dream. I went to Central Pastry today because of course I had to go get an ugly donut while I was in town. And the ladies behind the counter, they said, "You've lost way too much weight. What's going on?" And I said, "Well, I don't have a central pastry in Washington, D.C. That's what's going on." My papaw, it's funny, he voted in every election. He loved this country, but he did not care for politics. Now, back then, he said that Democrats were the party of union men, so he usually voted Democrat, but he thought way too many politicians were just plain old corrupt, and he was right. All he asked for from his political leaders was very simple. He asked that his taxes be reasonable. He asked that his community be safe. He asked that our politicians ensure that there were good jobs for men and women who are willing to work for them. And he asked that America never be asked to be the policeman of the world. Now, he was my grandfather. I called him Papaw. And he toiled in this very place to give our family the little extras, like I said, for nearly 4 decades. Now, I'm very honored because the welders of this facility made me this incredible, beautiful artisan plaque to commemorate me coming here. And those of you who don't know, Papaw was a welder, so it's particularly meaningful for me and for all the welders behind me and in front of me. Thank you all. It means a great deal. But Papaw was a welder in this place for 40 years. And today his grandson stands here as the Vice President of these United States. It's an amazing thing. And I'm here with a message from the President of these United States. The future of America, the future of the United States, the future of our homes and communities is going to be built right here in Middletown, Ohio.
J.D. Vance would make a great president. I'm still hoping for Marco Rubio, though. Still hoping more on the Marco Rubio side.
My papaw hated the politicians who ignored this place. He hated the people who saw this as the place of the past. He hated the people who forgot about this town when they should have been fighting for this town. And the unfortunate reality is that they came from both political parties. And they spent the last 40 years telling you it didn't matter if we made things right here or whether we made them in overseas countries. They said it was irrational, sentimental, old-fashioned to want to preserve the things that make the United States of America special. What we really needed, they said, was to compete and have complete market integration with every nation in the third world. Places where you could pay wages at pennies on the dollar, but didn't have to give your workers health care or good benefits in the process. And anytime somebody dared to put an obstacle in front of that set of ideas, anytime they said, you know what, we need to put tariffs or tough immigration policies to stop that, those people were called backwards, they were called wrong. Now in 1984, just to date myself a little bit, don't hate me, 1 month before I was born, the Wall Street Journal, the voice of big business in the United States of America, proposed, and I quote, a 5-word constitutional amendment. There shall be open borders. Now, they weren't joking. They weren't being tongue-in-cheek. Because if you look at what they tried to do over the next 40 years, they told you back then exactly what they were trying to do. 16 years later, when I was in high school, right here at Middletown High School, go Middies. The newspaper's lead editorial writer doubled down on that same set of ideas. They said, someone who believes, this is a quote, in the free trade and free movements of capital, they declared, will quite naturally believe in the free movement of labor. That means they're going to ship your jobs overseas and they're going to let anybody who wants to come into the United States of America with no vetting and no care. Being replaced by foreign workers, in other words, it was not an accident.
I think is 39 years old, so yeah.
My friends, it was the desired outcome of a generation of American elites.
Thank you for the gifts, guys. Drop some gifts, drop some super chats, drop some memberships. And most importantly, if you want to support for free, you can subscribe and give us a thumbs up.
And every single person in this room knows the consequences and what they looked like over a generation right here in Middletown, Ohio. Now, growing up here, I remember when somebody would come to school and tell me that their dad had just found out that he had lost his job, that the factory that employed their parents was going overseas to China or to Mexico. In other cases, American workers didn't just have their jobs destroyed, they got told they were being replaced by a foreign worker, and then they had to train that worker before they got replaced. Some of these stories have made national news and they've stuck with me. 3 years after the Wall Street Journal called for the free movement of labor, a computer programmer, not a mill worker, a computer programmer by the name of Kevin Flanagan was let go at the bank that he worked at. And the bank, they told him, you're only going to get your severance package if you trained a foreign replacement to do your job instead. And it's a heartbreaking story.
Does anybody out there want to debate? Spam down below. Debate if you guys want to debate. I'm looking for some good debates, good conversations. Let's get it.
Because he did it. He dutifully did what he was asked to do. And on his last day, he packed up his things, he walked to the office parking lot, he got in his truck, and he shot himself.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's not just Kevin, as you all know. Now, economists have measured the ways in which the opioid crisis exploded in the very locations where jobs were shipped overseas. They opened borders demanded by those same people, brought some innocent people, of course it did. But we also know that it brought a lot of cartels.
Listen, if anyone wants to drop even a $2 super chat to clown on the Democrats for being pedo protectors, it would be hilarious. It would be hilarious just for the bot to say Democrat pedo protectors. Because they freed pedos out of prison. They freed PDF files out of prison. Tampon Tim is the pedo protector. Not to mention, I have a friend who literally catches pedophiles for a living, and a good majority of them are Democrat. The overwhelming majority of the pedos he catches are Democrat.
Brought the fentanyl trade, and it left us with millions of orphan children being raised by aggrieved grandparents. That was the story, of course, of my mama and papa. Now, the blood of these men and women, these so-called deaths of despair, I'm sure you've heard that phrase, but it's almost too abstract for me, because the blood of those people, in my view, it pools at the feet of those who would sell out their country for a cheap bottom line. Our politicians, and frankly, the cronies in the private sector, people who didn't want to build in America like Cleveland Cliffs, but people who were happy to build overseas, they got rich, and communities like this one got poor. Politicians, think about this, who came to Washington with a few $1,000s in their bank account.
1970 donated $2 through Super Chat.
What did he say? Oh, he didn't say nothing. He just dropped it. Oh, okay. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. It would have been funnier if you called the Democrats Diddycrats, Pedocrats, or Demon Craps. Or demon rats, but hey, we can keep the name calling to a minimum, especially if they're actually willing to debate, which they aren't. So I don't really feel like being merciful to them right now. They're cowering out. Do any Democrats out there want to debate? Do any of y'all? Come on. Any of y'all? Any Democrats? Any of you want to debate a Trump supporter? Let me know.
After decades of public service with millions in stock portfolios. And what did all of you get? What did we get? If you were lucky, your neighbor's job got shipped to a foreign country while your tax dollars got shipped to fraudsters. And if you were unlucky, as I know many people in this room were, you were left raising a grandchild while you were mourning the child killed by the very poison brought across that wide open border. But just as it was a policy choice to let that happen, my friends, it was a policy choice to reverse that decline.
No, I just called Democrats a list of insults, and then I said, we don't have to insult if you're willing to have a conversation. Democrats don't want to debate because they're going to get proven wrong and they're going to start screaming and crying, so they just name call. They started this whole name calling thing. I didn't want to name call any Democrats, but they started it on me, so I'm going to go out to them, the pedocrats.
Decline. And in November of 2024, you made a choice to reverse 40 years of American decline and make Donald Trump the President of the United States. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy or it's all going to happen overnight, but in just 18 months, we have seen an explosion of rebuilding in the American heartland. We have seen trillions, with a T, trillions of new dollars of investment pour into the United States of America to build new smelters, build new manufacturing facilities, build new mills, build new everything. Under President Trump's leadership, factory construction employment has exploded. We've added 83,000 factory construction jobs.
Once again, what's wrong with being an ally with Israel? You people sure do have a lot of opinions, you Democrats, but you're not willing to defend or argue in favor of any of your opinions. You just say this, that, the third, Israel, free healthcare, but you're not willing to discuss it or debate it. Call in, guys. Call in. Comment debate down below and we'll get you in here and we'll debate.
Just since inauguration.
Get those likes up though. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Help us reach the super chat goal of 20 more super chats.
And as companies break...
There is no number, but we are very much considering posting a number just due to the fact that Democrats are not willing to debate anymore. It's became harder and harder and harder.
New ground on new facilities, and they start building new assembly lines. Imports for capital goods are reaching historic peaks.
I'll post
because
the
when we
Discord
build
link.
these facilities, we've also got to put the beautiful equipment that go into them. Demand for metal cutting and similar machine tools is hitting its highest levels in a century in the United States of America.
Guys.
And all this new construction is building on a strong base, with manufacturing activity last month reaching its best rate in many, many years. We've created more than 29,000 new jobs in the sector in 2026 so far, reversing years of decline in manufacturing employment. And year over year, manufacturing workers' wages actually went up 4.2%, where they went down under the Biden administration. And frankly, they've been higher in the industries where you've seen that decline in illegal immigration into our country, like construction and commercial trucking. And that brings me to why I'm here today. Because we're not just here to talk about the celebration and the good news and the numbers. We're here to announce that Cleveland Cliffs is making today, right here in Middletown, Ohio, a $1 billion investment in transformational manufacturing right here in our home.
How much is the German salary these days? About 4 months of the American salary? Oh yeah, that's right. Your whole entire yearly salary is about 4 months of an average American salary. Hilarious. Embarrassing.
Now that's going to protect and create tons of new jobs. We're going to upgrade the iron-making furnace. We're going to implement cutting-edge new technology to optimize furnace operation and improve Middletown's air qualities, because as much as the far left says that you can't have industry, but also clean air and water, we're going to show in this facility that's exactly what you can have. You can have both of it, and you can have it in spades with smart leadership. Now, this is only possible because of my friend Chris Wright's and the president's energy dominance agenda. And I got to say, it's great to have a business that is putting power into the grid rather than...
Y'all can join that Discord right down below and we can get some debates going.
just taking it away, and that's exactly what we're going to do here in Middletown. But we also recognize in our administration that real dignity, it's not just about what happens in the factory, it's not just about what happens in the office. We don't just want you to have a good job, as much as I very much want that for every single person in this room. I want you to have peace, and I want you to have security, and I want you to have the real freedom that comes along with knowing that you are the Lord of your own manor. The great Southern populist, probably most of you in the room don't know who I'm talking about, but he's an interesting guy, kind of a crazy guy. His name was Huey Long, and he once said, "Every man a king" was the goal of his political program. But no man is a king if their castle is under siege by criminals. No man is a king if they can't take...
You have to protect your castle. You have to protect your business. You have to protect everything you own from Democrat siege, because they're trying to steal and attack everything we built for ourselves and everything we built for our families. These Democrats want it. They don't want to work for it either. They want to steal it. They want to steal it. I'm going to put myself big on the camera so I can just talk to y'all for a second. Every second of every day, y'all need to protect what you got and what you own from either the Democrat government, the Democrats in general on an individual level, or whatever they got going on. You got to protect what you got against these Democrats, because they want what you have and they want to take it by force. All right, don't forget it. It's not all Democrats, but it's a good majority of them. But get those likes way, way up there. We're almost at 200 likes. You know, if you're stagnant, Democrats will take everything you own, your business, your house, your wife, your life, every single thing you own. They'll take it with government seizure if they have to. So we're fighting against pure evil. The Demon Rat Socialist Party. Don't forget that. Don't forget what took down Italy. It was the Democrat Socialist Party. Not really the Democrats, but it was more the socialists. All right, let's get back to the video now, chat. Back to the video.
Their family out to dinner without being mugged or having their car jacked. And of course, ending the Biden border invasion was a big part of why we have changed that over the last 18 months. For 4 years, the Democrats invited millions of illegal immigrants into this country to take over our communities and compete with us for jobs and housing. They let in murderers, they let in gang leaders, they let in fraudsters, and they let in drug traffickers, and they did so by the tens of thousands. And for months, we heard Democrats, including people like Sherrod Brown, people who pretend to be the friends of the workers in this facility, saying that they couldn't do anything to fix it, that we needed a new law, we needed a new statute, we needed Congress to pass a new regulation in order to fix Joe Biden's open border. But as we've learned over the past 18 months, it didn't require a new law to close down that border. It just required a new U.S. president.
Listen, Mozzie, why do you come to my stream if you don't want to co-host, if you don't want to have a debate, if you don't want to have a conversation? Because you could be a star on my channel. Forget 1,000 subscribers. Forget 14K views. Forget a 10K views. You can come on my channel. We can debate, and you will get over 100,000 views, 200,000 views. That's a really good promotion for you. I'm just saying.
And what we did is we told American corporations that if you wanted new workers, you got to start by training and hiring your own countrymen.
Democrats, transgenders, homosexuals alike, join the Discord and let's debate your beliefs, your ideology, and let's have an interview/debate. No gotcha moments, no bullshit. No, gotcha, none of that stuff. We're just here for an honest debate and conversation. Homosexuals, I think, covered the Democrat Party, right? Whatever you are, Democrats, leftists, socialists. I would just categorize y'all in one. I would just call it the homosexuals. Is that fair? Is that a fair characterization of you? Join the Discord down below. Link right there. Join the Discord. Debate. Debate. Spam the comment section if you want to debate. Debate, debate, debate.
And we rewarded the corporations like Cleveland Cliffs that wanted to do that, and we were willing to tell the corporations that wanted to hire foreign labor that if you wanted to bring that stuff back into the United States, you were going to pay a big fat tariff for doing so. And so, for the first time in my life, America saw net.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody talks about the genocides of Christians in Nigeria and Syria and Afghanistan, but around 70% of all the Christians getting martyred and genocided today are in Nigeria. Not a single Democrat has ever mentioned Nigeria that I ever heard. They all just talk about, Gaza, Palestine, Palestine. It's full of bloodthirsty terrorists. There's no genocide.
Migration out of the country as we sent millions of illegal immigrants back home. And as a result, of that, this is maybe the thing I'm the most proud of in the last 18 months. Do you know that all net job growth over the past 18 months went to native-born Americans, reversing a trend for 4 years where it all went to other people? We got a lot of work to do, but we're making progress on all the things that matter the most. On the affordability question, we know that under Joe Biden, the cost of a median price home nearly doubled. Now, for the first time in over...
Yeah, it doubled. The prices of houses doubled under Joe Biden. So next time you're thinking about home prices and you want someone to blame, other than yourself, which is really the only person you should be blaming, you can blame Biden because he did double the prices. But get those likes way, way up there. Subscribe, drop some super chats. How can you debate me on YouTube? How can I get you into the call through YouTube? It's not possible. It's not possible. There's no way I can message you. But get those likes way, way, way up there, guys. Drop some super chats. It is Friday. If you guys have any video requests, we are doing video requests for $10. And every single super chat is being read out loud by the bot and also read out loud by me. And I'm responding to every single one of them. So make sure you guys get those likes up. Subscribe and welcome to the most conservative, pro-America, America First YouTube channel on the internet.
Over 5 years, rents are falling for the first time. We got a lot of work to do, but we're finally seeing that American dream of homeownership become accessible again to our young people. And it's not just affordability, America's getting safer too. We're currently experiencing in the United States of America the largest reduction in violent crime in the history of our country. Homicides. Homicides are at their lowest level in our country, the lowest level in 126 years. That's almost hard to believe. Cities like Aurora, Colorado, where, if you remember, I had an interview with somebody in the mainstream media. It was the October before the election, right when we were getting into crunch time. And we were talking about how these violent Venezuelan drug gangs had taken over apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado. And I said this to the anchor. And the anchor comes back and says to me,
avoided it. They ignored it. Do y'all remember when we exposed these illegal alien criminal gangs last year? And Democrats literally just ignored it. They did not care. They literally just ignored it. literally just ignored it.
She says, well, they've only taken over 1 or 2 apartment complexes. And I remember at the time, I guess I wouldn't be a good poker player because I got so excited. I was like, did she really just say it's okay for a Venezuelan drug gang to only take over 1 or 2 apartment complexes? I was ready to jump out of my seat and make this point that a single apartment complex or a single home taken over by a foreign drug gang is 1 too many, which is why we got to get those people the hell out of the United States of America.
Israel is keeping us poor. Israel. Israel. It ain't Israel, bozo. It ain't Israel. You are delusional, sir. You are delusional.
But as we systematically address the failures of the past, I got to be honest, as much as I wish we had, we have not gotten a lot of help from Democrats in Washington. Bernie, have we? No. This is not, unfortunately, JFK or FDR's Democrat Party. Hell, it's not even Bill Clinton's Democrat Party. This is the party of diversity quotas rather than opportunity for all. This is the party, the Democrat Party, of graduate students rather than the union and non-union workers who make this facility run. It's sometimes actually hard to understand, like, what do these modern Democrats actually stand for? But look what they say.
Nothing.
Pay close attention, and they'll leave these little hints of what they actually care about. Now, El Sayed, this guy running for Senate in Michigan, he once argued, not too long ago, that criticisms of Sharia law were rooted in white supremacy. I'd love to go back in time and tell my papaw that there's a man who claims to stand for working people who says not only should we have Sharia law, but if you criticize it, you're a white supremacist. That's not my papaw's Democrat Party, my friends. Now, I served for 2 years in the Senate with Sherrod Brown. He was a friendly enough guy, but he was a man who claimed to represent this state, but never once raised his voice against Joe Biden's border crisis or against...
Of course we need the ballroom. China has a ballroom. Russia has a ballroom. England has a ballroom. We need a ballroom. It's embarrassing to put our foreign leaders up in a 4 or 5 star hotel. We should have a dedicated area for them to come and hang out in. That's what the ballroom is. Every other country has plenty of space and areas for foreign leaders to come to.
Against the inflation that was brought on by Joe Biden underinvesting and trying to destroy American industry. If you look at it at every step of the way, these Democrats have voted for foreign workers and fraudsters over American citizens and hard-paying taxpayers. They have voted for corporations who sent jobs overseas rather than good American businesses who invested in you, invested in your communities, and increased your jobs. Who do these Democrats put first? Everyone else. You know who the Trump administration puts first? Americans. You, my friends, that's who we fight for. But you know, these Democrats, they've opposed every turn our work to make trade fair again, to stop letting foreign countries take advantage of us. They screamed and cried as we protected our communities from illegal immigration. They sued, they boycotted, they protested, they rioted, and they obstructed, all in the name of defending the interests of foreigners over American citizens. That's right. Now, some of the stories sound insane. In one case, we were working to deport a convicted child rapist in the state of Minnesota, Tim Walz.
Here we go. Tim Walz PDF file protector. Now, we might have to come back to the story even, but...
Caught wind. And you know what he did? He pardoned the guy. He pardoned a literal child rapist to prevent him from being deported out of the United States of America.
Democrat.
Now, we went ahead and got this guy out of our country anyways. And Walz gets better. Waltz asked the country what good it accomplished. Did that make us any safer? That is a direct quote from the Democrat governor of Minnesota. To which I'd say, as the father of 4 young children, 10-year-olds and everybody else can breathe a little bit easier in Minnesota. Yes, Tim, of course it's good to get violent criminals the hell out of the United States of America.
Rapists, pedophiles. Tim Walz is a pedophile protector. Democrats have gone awfully silent in the chat. What do you Democrats think about Tampon Tim being a pedophile lover and a protector?
Stories sound insane. In one case, we were working to deport a convicted child rapist in the state of Minnesota. Tim Walz.
Damon Rat!
Caught wind. And you know what he did? He pardoned the guy. He pardoned a literal child rapist to prevent him from being deported out of the United States of America. Now, we went ahead and got this guy out of our country anyways, and Waltz, it gets better. Waltz asked the country what good
He's
it
a
accomplished.
convicted child rapist. Convicted. Guilty.
Did that make us any safer? That is a direct quote from the Democrat governor of Minnesota. To which I
so
say,
y'all
as the
don't
father
care
of
about
4
your...
young...
He was about to be the vice president of America, and he sympathizes with pedophiles. That is absolutely disgusting on every single regard.
Children, 10-year-old...
All right, y'all, we're going to come back in about 30 minutes to an hour and come back where we left off with. Only because I'm having a stomach ache right now, so I got to hop off stream, unfortunately. But I will be back in a couple minutes here. Make sure you guys subscribe. We'll be back, chat. We'll be back.